Hey y'all, what's up pigeon family? Today I'm going to be doing another video um, addressing BDD, which is body dysmorphia disorder, which is when you feel really bad about your body and kind of obsess over a perceived flaw. I'll read the symptoms in a second and I'll address them in regards specifically to Pectus Carinatum. I think a lot of you probably could qualify for uh, this disorder, and I certainly could at some point in my life when I was full-blown obsessed with my Pectus Carinatum while I was bracing for my Pectus Carinatum. Just full-on obsession with improving the look of it, thinking that I have complete control over how it's going to look, and because of having that perceived control over it, that made me go a little cuckoo. Like, I need to do the best I can right now and just focus all my energy all day onto fixing this problem before I get too old and my bones get too hardened. So I'm curious to know if other of you have had that full-blown obsession with your Pectus Carinatum. I know most people with it, if you're watching this video, you're probably insecure about it on some level. But to that extreme, I'm curious to know if others have been there. I know maybe a couple people, because I saw on the Reddit forum r/Pectus Carinatum, one guy mentioned body dysphoria. That's where I actually heard the term, and I looked it up. And I was like, okay, because this guy with acne I was looking at, a guy with acne was talking at a BDD convention, basically, and he was very attractive, and that's why I clicked it. I was like, this is weird. He's a very attractive person. I'm surprised he was so obsessed with his looks. And he told the camera that he would stand in front of the mirror for hours and hours and scratch his face and peel his acne from the age of 11 up till 19, when he found out it was a disorder and he really got Accutane and tried to cut it back. And he would be back and forth between the mirror and some other room, just back and forth to the mirror for hours on end, staring at himself like really close into the mirror. That's what he said he would do. He'd go real close and like scrutinize every last detail of his body, imagining how others would perceive it and being so very critical of it. And he said his mom would notice that he was gone sometimes, and she would walk in on him in the bathroom staring at himself, and she started to get clued in on it. So I could really relate to that, because I used to stare at my chest in the mirror after I would take my brace off, be like, has it changed at all? Has it improved? Like, and just like look at every little detail. Sometimes I would think, wow, it's so good, it's improved so much. And then sometimes I would be so self-critical, like, oh Jesus, it's so bad, it's so deformed, I'm gonna be so hideous for the rest of my life. This is gonna completely ruin my social life and any potential of being happy, and I'm just completely fucked. And in reality, so I'm focusing on these like micro changes and being so extreme and dramatic about these little micro changes day to day. And in reality, it's not really changing that much day to day. It's just all kind of in my head. And it's a full-blown obsession there that is very destructive. Because also, let me read the symptoms of this disorder according to Mayo Clinic. I don't trust Mayo Clinic, but might as well read this. Being extremely preoccupied with a perceived flaw in appearance that to others can't be seen or appears minor. So that's the kind of the key to it. It's a perceived flaw. Maybe it's an idiosyncrasy in your body, something that's different. And you think that others, you project your feelings of it being real bad onto other people, and you assume that to other people is an extreme flaw, when in reality other people view it as something very minor and they don't think about it much. But so I read you are likely to develop this kind of thinking if in your family your parents really prioritize looks and talk about like looks as being very important. And then also if you've had people point out something about your parents, if people have pointed out your Pectus Carinatum, or the guy with his acne, people pointing it out, that will make you more likely to develop this kind of body dysmorphic disorder. And in my case, my parents did care about looks a lot, and they talk about looks like it's very important at times. So I had that, and then I also have had people point out my Pectus Carinatum like 2 or 3 times. So because of these things, I guess I would be more likely to do it. So maybe think through those things for yourself or whatever. Next one on the symptoms list, looking at this symptoms. Strong belief that you have a defect in your appearance that makes you ugly or deformed. Yeah, that resonates. Yep. See, my fear was that my Pectus Carinatum would somehow make me be perceived as deformed or like a circus freak in a way. Like I would be put into a category automatic. Like if somebody ever saw it, I would be put into a category of people that is apart from normal society. So almost like a midget or something. When you see a midget, maybe you think like, could be a great guy and everything, but he's kind of like different and he's apart from the rest of society in a way. Maybe that's shallow to say, but I think that's how a lot of people see it. So I was afraid that this Pectus Carinatum would put me in that category, even though it's kind of different. But yeah, that's the kind of thinking that comes with body dysmorphic disorder. So the one interesting thing about, I say the one interesting thing, but about Pectus Carinatum is you're not born with it, so you don't get used to it at a young age. Like somebody who's born a midget, for example, they've always been a midget, so they don't have that kind of thrown into the water kind of thing, like right in puberty, like with Pectus Carinatum for most people. Like for me, Pectus Carinatum, nothing till I was like 15. I would go through puberty, and then suddenly it's full blown. Got Pectus Carinatum now, and I don't know how people are gonna react to this because my whole life I've had a relatively typical body, and I know how that is, but I don't know how this is gonna be. So it's kind of scary, and not to mention, like it's kind of hidden below shirts for the most part. So it's something that you're not able to get adjusted to super easily unless you have your shirt off a lot. You've got your shirt on most of the time, and during that time you don't know how people would react if they actually saw you. So it's kind of like an air of mystery there that enables this like shame and body dysmorphic disorder to develop more easily, if you know what I'm saying. Keep reading the symptoms here. So, belief that others take special notice of your appearance in a negative way or mock you. Yeah, it's just that obsession right there. Okay. Engaging in behaviors aimed at fixing or hiding the perceived flaw that are difficult to resist or control, such as frequently checking the mirror, grooming, or skin picking. Well, for Pectus Carinatum, we're actually encouraged to fix it through wearing the brace, and that's the most dangerous part about that whole thing. Giving people this idea that you can like fix it completely. If you take that the wrong way and think your brace is just gonna like completely change it and be miraculous change, it can give you false hope per se, and just majorly screw you over when it's not actually possible to fully change. And by then you've already developed this like mentality of like, there's something very wrong, I need to change. And people will tell you, you need to get more motivation to wear your brace. You need to feel bad about your chest so that you can have the motivation to change it. Because I mean, to really have the motivation to wear a horrible brace that long, to get that kind of motivation, you need a lot of negative energy coming, pushing you towards that. And that negative energy is coming from just feeling bad about it. So yeah, let me read the next one here. Oh, another thing I was going to mention about that is like pushing onto your chest, like pushing into your chest, like as if that can make it stay in or whatever. I mean, I used to do that right when I first noticed it. I would push it back in, like oh, what's happening? Why is my chest poking out? Maybe I can just push it back in. Yeah, that's this false sense of control over something you can't control, and it just makes you care about it, and it just builds it up in your head. It's like all mental. It really is all mental. So that's the thing. Attempting to hide perceived flaws with styling, makeup, or clothes. So that one, I have strong feelings about people who teach ways of hiding your pectus carinatum through wearing like a certain hoodie or wearing certain kinds of shirts and stuff like that, and that's a big strong focus on it. That's not real practical. That's just putting a band-aid on a deeper problem, which is that you care about it. Basically, don't do that. It just encourages the same mindset of I'm hiding something because there's something to hide. And it just is a horrible mindset to reinforce by doing a behavior that you would only do if you actually believe that. So don't buy into that. Don't buy into that you need to hide it, and don't wear shirts. I've seen videos on YouTube of, I'm not going to name names, but people say this is how you should wear a certain shirt to cover your pectus carinatum. Just forget that. Let people see it, and people don't care as much as you think they will. So just don't try and hide it. Constantly comparing your appearance with others. Frequently seeking reassurance about your appearance from others. Having perfectionistic tendencies. See, now, that's one thing that maybe people could learn from my experience. I thought that I could make my chest perfect if I just wore the brace a certain amount of times. There's no such thing as perfect, and also it's not a perfect method either. The bracing helps and it works, but it's not a perfect practice. It's messy. You're just pushing on bones and making stuff happen. It's not like a fix for everything. It's not going to be perfect. So anyway, victim of that myself. Yeah, avoiding social situations. That is a scary one because